Everyone, so the Los Angeles Lakers season is done, and now the Lakers have a lot to look forward to in this offseason. The Lakers, our number one priority is to keep their core. They want to keep the young guys, so that means Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, I believe, are absolute locks, as well as Jared Vanderbilt, because Jared Vanderbilt is only $4.5 million or $4.6 million, so he's not going anywhere. D'Angelo Russell, I wouldn't be shocked if they look to maybe trade him in some type of deal. Not necessarily for Kyrie, because Kyrie, you basically would lose all of your depth. I think the Lakers may. Trae Young was a report that came out. We'll start diving into all the trade reports here shortly. But the things that I want to talk about in this video in regards to the Lakers is things that they need and that would put them in a better position next year. The Lakers are very likely going to lose some of their pieces, but their core guys, again, basically the main guys you saw in the playoffs outside of like maybe Dennis Schroeder, you'll likely see again next year. Dennis Schroeder, will see what his market looks like because the Lakers wouldn't be able to pay him much. He'd probably be looking at a vet minimum, maybe a mid-level deal. Same thing with Lonnie Walker. But the Lakers, let's say they keep the core guys. D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt. They'd still have Max Christie, Malik Beasley, Mo Bamba. You just need a couple pieces here and there. So what are the things that the Lakers need to be a contender and be back in the position and maybe this time actually win? First thing immediately that comes to mind is the Lakers desperately need a center. Now, I was a big person in the Hassan Whiteside camp. Right now, he's playing in Puerto Rico. He's putting up 43 points and 20 rebound games on like 60% shooting. Doesn't have to necessarily be Hassan Whiteside. I would still love Hassan Whiteside. Big body that can bang, strong, physical, got the athleticism, can block shots. Anthony Davis could play alongside of him. If it's not him, if it's whomever, if it's DeMarcus Cousins or whatever, I don't care. Lakers need a big man. Mo Bamba, I think, has a lot of potential, but he is a project. He is a guy that I think the Lakers need to develop and need to kind of mold him and shape him into a potential center at some point, right? Maybe next year, if he takes some leaps, maybe you move AD to the power forward spot and then Mo Bamba can kind of be the backup center, right? That's definitely some options. Now, the Lakers could also maybe make some trades. Maybe you flip Mo Bamba and some pieces into like a Miles Turner or something, or maybe there is a center that's available. Can you work some deal out to go get a solid contributing center? I don't think you need an elite, top 5 center in the league. You just need somebody that can come in, bang with the Jokic's of the world, and just kind of wear them down. So it's not just Anthony Davis playing 48 minutes, wearing himself down, trying to bang against the big centers in the league. So I think the Lakers need that backup center. They need a quality backup center. I wouldn't mind if they kept like Tristan Thompson, right? If basically you got rid of Winning Gabriel and kept Tristan Thompson, that's fine. I think Tristan Thompson definitely has some value. He was solid in that game 4, in the limited minutes that he was in. I think he's definitely a guy that could come in and kind of be that small ball center that you may want to run at times, especially in certain matchups. I think Tristan Thompson could definitely be that guy, but you need a legit center. You need, like I said, a Hassan Whiteside, a DeMarcus Cousins, somebody that you can bring in that has the veteran experience, not a project. You need somebody that actually has some experience in the league because you already have your project in Mo Bamba, right? You don't need to go get another project that now you're trying to work on and you're trying to develop and, now you get to the playoffs and you're not ready, or they're not ready. You don't need that. Now, I would love like a Brook Lopez or a Nikola Vucevic or, a Christian Wood or something like that. But in reality, those guys are probably going to be a lot more than what we can afford. You got to remember, we do not have money to spend because we're going to have to renew Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. So those two alone are two guys that we're not going to be able to, that basically put us over the cap, so we're not going to have money to get a bunch of other pieces. But, even if you could just get like, a Mike Muscala, Just some big bodies that can just be in the perimeter that aren't going to cost a ton of money, right? That's the idea. But moving on, the next thing we really need is another perimeter defender, right? We need another small forward, power forward type defensive guy. Ideally, I would like one that is better suited on the offensive end, like a Kyle Kuzma would be great. But once again, the Lakers aren't going to really have money. So how do the Lakers go get a defensive guy? You could bring somebody in like Stanley Johnson, who was a real favorite, right? A guy that can play the 3 or the 4. Basically gives you another type of, Jared Vanderbilt. I think the Lakers really need another sizable defensive player that can guard multiple positions and defend multiple positions. Again, Lakers don't really have money, so they're not going to be able to get a Chris Middleton or a Kyle Kuzma or a Cam Johnson. Maybe like a Dylan Brooks or a Jay Crowder. That's somebody that might be interesting. Kelly Oubre, right? Would Kelly Oubre be a guy that would take a reasonable discount? But again, those were all guys that got pretty decent checks, right? So I think realistically, you're looking at a vet minimum type guy, and that's where a Stanley Johnson would come into play. Somebody like that. If you can get a sizable defensive two-way type defender, great. That's perfect. But at least get a defensive guy that can come in for a couple minutes a game and kind of be that defensive relief that you can have and just kind of switch and do multiple things. That's another big thing that I think the Lakers need. And then shooting, right? Malik Beasley, the idea of getting Malik Beasley was for him to be a reliable shooter. I don't think that is going to happen, unfortunately. Now, maybe he could turn it around for the season. Problem is that, he basically became unplayable. And so I think the Lakers need to find somebody that can come in. Now, the Gary Trents, Josh Harts of the world, I think would be great. But again, money, finances. Somebody like Alec Burke would be great. But is he going to opt out of his $10 million? Would Seth Curry, right? Would Seth Curry be a guy that might take a discount to come to the Lakers? Maybe that would be pretty nice, right? Outside of that, I don't really see anybody that the Lakers could realistically get. Maybe like a Will Barton, Terrence Ross, maybe. But I think those guys might end up, especially Terrence Ross, I think he might end up staying on like the Phoenix Suns. This is probably an area where the Lakers would probably have to make a trade. Could you go get Buddy Hield, right? You could also solve the center position. Could you get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner? That was something that was talked about in the off season or in this past season even. Is that a deal that could potentially be on the table? Maybe you could get something like that. But the Lakers need a legitimate 3-point threat. Austin Reeves was great. D'Angelo Russell was great during the regular season, but just fell off a cliff in the postseason. Malik Beasley became unplayable. Lakers didn't really have anybody that could knock down the 3-ball consistently. And the Lakers need that desperately. So if you could get, say, a Buddy Hield, somebody like that could come in and be that 3-point threat, I think if you're the Lakers, you do that. The other alternative is maybe if you can't get like a 3-point threat specialist like I said, Buddy Hield, because again, there's not a lot out there, and for good reason. Those guys that are that good usually are on rosters. Can you get like a Terry Rozier, right? Like, do the Charlotte Hornets want to get out of Rozier's $20 million a year contract for the next 3 years? And maybe you could trade Malik Beasley and go get a Rozier. Yes, Rozier is undersized, but he's a guy that could come off the bench and be that Malik Monk type guy for us, right? You saw what he was able to do for the Sacramento Kings. Could we get somebody like him who could play on the ball? He could play off the ball. He has experience playing off the ball. Not really going to give you defense, but neither would a Buddy Hield or a Miles Turner, Malik Beasley, right? Those kind of guys aren't going to be able to give you defense regardless. At least with Terry Rozier, he gives you another playmaker. He gives you another scorer, a guy that can just go get a bucket, guy that's putting up 50-point games, right? And he's familiar with playing off the ball because he plays on a team with LaMelo Ball. And therefore, he's kind of understood the idea of like, hey, I can be an off-ball threat. He's a guy that can knock down the three and score at all three levels. He could be a valuable pickup. Not necessarily it has to be him. He's just more of the example, somebody that I could see the Lakers, maybe trying to make a push to go get somebody like that. They need a scorer regardless, right? If you can't get an elite shooter, right? Can you get some type of playmaking scorer? Because that's, again, what the Lakers really need. They need a center. They need three-point shooting. They need some defensive wing. Now, obviously, Kyrie would be the best scenario, or Fred VanVleet. Problem is, Kyrie hard caps us, makes it pretty difficult. Fred VanVleet, going to cost too much money. So you basically don't really have much, maybe like a Reggie Jackson, but Reggie Jackson is really hot and cold too at times. So I'm not really big on him. It's just the Lakers need a couple things, and I think that a Terry Rozier, something in that mold, may be beneficial, especially if you can't get a legit shooter, or get both. Can you figure out a way to get a Terry Rozier and still go get a Buddy Hield? That would be nice. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with the things that I believe that the Lakers need? Do you think that they need other things? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.